In case of excretory system, the organ that comes to our mind is kidney, because this is our organ of excretion. This is the organ responsible for filtering out every single like harmful product, that is harmful metabolite that is produced in our blood or in our body, and this is the one that helps in the elimination of all of that material from the body. The position of kidney in our abdominal region is called the lumbar region. It's near the lower abdomen area, and it is actually comprised of these two kidneys that are present there. These two kidneys are positioned slightly offset, like the right one is positioned slightly lower than the left one. This is just because in this particular side we'll have the liver that is being residing, and it is supplied by blood which is coming down through the help of the aorta, and the aorta then bifurcate into this two organ by the renal arteries, and then at the same time through this place we'll find that the inferior vena cava also run adjacent to it, and inferior vena cava is going to take the blood, the filtered out blood from both this kidney, and it will then be distributed throughout the body. Whatever we'll learn about that later on. At the moment, let's just study about this kidney, how this kidney appear and what this kidney look like. So the kidney, it appears to be a bean shaped structure. So this session is majorly focused on the diagram of the entire thing. We are not going to learn about the entire system and everything, how it functions. It's just simply focused on the diagram. So the diagram of the kidney, it will be like a kidney bean shaped organ. So you'll make a kidney bean. Okay, here definitely I'll have a little bit problem because I'm holding the camera right in front of where I'm going to draw, so it will be a bit problem for me to draw, but this is how you're going to draw it. Okay, so make a kidney bean like the rajma, if you know, then the rajma you make, and then in this rajma you do one thing, you just make this indent. In the case of seed, this is the area which is known as the hilum, the indent inside through which actually, in case of any beans, when it germinates, when the plumule and the radical comes out, it's from this area. Similarly, here also you are going to find that through this area, the ureter, which is the pipe which is responsible for carrying the urine out of the kidney, will come out. Okay, now inside we are going to find there are structures like this. Achha, before going to that, let's draw this entire region, this area. So the interior of the kidney will somehow appear something like this. It will be bifurcated into a structure which looks something like this. Again, I'm just drawing it in a little bit awkward manner, so I'm having a bit of problem while drawing it. It's not going to show finesse, okay, but it's, after all, like I hope you'll be able to understand. So this one is actually the structure. This area is known as the renal calyx. I'll label it later on when I'll label the entire thing. So this area is called the renal calyx, and it is this area where the entire, all of that the urine that is being produced by the filtration of the blood, it actually comes and get collected right here, and then through this pelvis area, this is known as the pelvis area of the kidney, or it is also called known as the renal pelvis. Well, the term renal, it actually is designating the kidney region. So this renal pelvis area is going to take the filtered kidney, collected kidney back into underneath. So we are going to find the structure is actually going to have something like this. Throughout the kidney, we are going to find this pyramidal kind of shape present throughout the entire interior portion of the kidney. Okay, and this shape is not going to be like smooth, but rather it will have this kind of streaks present in it. It will be full of this kind of pattern of streaks, the entirety of all of that. Okay, now this is the structure of the kidney that will appear whenever we try and cut it open. So this kidney is like this is a pipe, definitely. Okay, So now let's go with the finer pen and let me help you level and understand each and every other part. First and foremost, this area, this outermost area, this outer region of the kidney is known, it goes by the name of the renal cortex. Then this inner portion, this total interior region, means the region inside a portion, this total area interior, this area will be known as the renal medulla. So ultimately it transforms, like the outer region is known as the cortex, the inner region is known as the medulla. That's how the name usually goes in any of the anatomy. Most of the anatomy, any of the structure, you'll find that the outer region will be called like that. Okay, so in this medulla we'll find all of these structures that are present there, this like pyramidal shaped structure. So these pyramidal shaped structures are named as the renal pyramid or medullary pyramid. Renal or medullary pyramid. I'll write renal also, better. Renal or medullary pyramid. And each and every of those lines that you are seeing there, these lines are called the medullary rays. What are those? I'll discuss later. This portion, this area where the like all the lines they merge together, this area is known as the calyx region or renal calyx, and this area will be known as the renal pelvis. So that becomes the part, all of the part. This area is called the hilum of the kidney. Not writing it right the moment. This is called the ureter. Right. This is called the ureter, the one that will carry all the like fluids that are getting collected. Mostly it's just urine only. So all the urine that will be collected here, this all collected urine will actually travel through this. So this region is the one that will carry the urine out. Okay, so every urine is going to come from here, like the filtration actually takes place in the medullary region, and from there every urine that is being collected, this urine will pass down through this particular section. The entire urine, it will all pass through this particular area. And right there, if I can overlap this entire structure, then you are going to find that in this region only we are going to find that the arteries and the vein is actually entering. Okay, the artery, this is going to be the aorta, and this is the artery that is going inside, which is definitely going to go and branch out into every single portion of the kidney. So this is the aorta, and this is the renal artery that is going in. And at the same time, adjacent to it, we are going to find that the inferior vena cava is also present. So this is the inferior vena cava. This is also running adjacent to that particular same like pipe. Okay, means blood vessel. And we are going to find that the blood vessel, again the renal vein is entering, or actually renal vein is exiting the kidney right there. So the names are aorta, the descending aorta definitely, which is this one, this portion. So the descending aorta, the inferior vena cava, the inferior vena cava. This one will be known as the renal artery, and this is the renal vein. This one, it is a renal vein. That is the entire structure of the kidney. This is how we are going to find that the kidney is actually arranged. Now this structure that you're seeing here, actually the functional unit of the kidney is not going to be the like this structure. The functional unit of the kidney is going to be something that is present inside, and this functional structure is actually going to be nephron, which is present in this particular section right there. Right there we are going to find that the nephrons are present, and it is this nephron which is the functional unit of the kidney. This is the structure which is responsible for all the filtration, everything, because it is a major structure, and it is this nephron which has been given the task to filter out the blood, make the urine, and then supply it down there. This nephron is something which is present in around lakhs of them per kidney. Okay, we'll discuss about its function later on. Again, as I said, this is a simple study about how to draw them. The structure of nephron will begin with the structure which is known as the renal corpuscle. It is a cup-shaped structure, and this cup-shaped structure will actually have blood vessels coming inside, because as you know, the renal arteries are there. The renal arteries will actually come, say I draw the renal artery here, then this renal artery will actually come inside. It will enter inside through this particular section. Okay, so through this section it will enter inside, and then it will branch out in the sense it will branch into several capillaries, dense capillaries, and all these capillaries are going to run through the entirety of the structure, coil up several times, and form a structure which is called the glomerulus. So this is how the glomerulus are going to be arranged. So this highly coiled structure that you're seeing here, they all will later merge and will form another artery, or rather we should say it as arteriole, which is going to exit this Bowman's capsule. Okay, so we have the renal artery through which the blood is coming inside with the help of the arteriole, and then I'll label it later on. Then it will become this glomerulus, and the glomerulus will carry all the blood through this entire portion, and then this Bowman capsule is going to capture it. Okay, right after that we have this structure. It is like coiled tube. This tube is known as the proximal convoluted tube. We can simply draw it like this way. You don't need to draw a very dense tube or anything. It's after all figurative. The entire structure is quite figurative. So you have this structure, and then the entire thing will move up like that. While moving up, it is going to take a turn like this and will go through this section. There is a reason why it goes through this section, which I'll explain when I'll teach this entire portion to you later on. Then this will make turns and will merge up into the collecting duct. Okay, this is how the structure of the nephron will look like. Let me just improve this area a little bit. Alright, so the structure will be named such a way. This is the arteriole. So this is renal artery. This is afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole. Blood, it comes through this, so it is traveling, so it will travel like this way. It will go into this section. This section is known as the glomerulus. This section, glomerulus, and this section is known as Bowman's capsule. After this Bowman capsule, what we will see is that the blood is actually moving out, and it is going away like through this particular section, and this section is known as the efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole. This one means afferent arteriole brings the blood into the Bowman's capsule, and then the glomerulus will be formed, and through the glomerulus the blood is going to pass through every single part and corner, and then finally through that it will actually move out through this particular section, which is known as the efferent arteriole. What actually happens is the efferent arteriole will then encompass the entirety of the this portion. So let's see if it actually makes the entire diagram quite I could say dirty if I draw it simply like that. So let's first see the entire structure, then I'll cover with the arteriole. So this portion together, this entire section, is what is known as the renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle. Previously it was also called as a Malpighian corpuscle. So you may come across with both the names. Don't worry, it's this entire section, this top portion, whatever I have made we've drawn here, this entire section is known as the renal or the Malpighian corpuscle. Now comes this area. This area is actually first the entire Bowman's capsule, whatever filtration has taken place, because the filtration will take place right here. It will send the content into this big tube. This is known as the proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubule. So what happens is whatever is collected, it will pass down through this, it will come here, it will come to this, and will enter this thin pipe-like section, which is known as the loop of Henle's, okay, or Henle's loop. And this one is actually the descending loop, this portion, because it is moving downward. So it is called the descending loop of Henle. This portion is known as ascending loop of Henle's. Okay, so what is happening here is the urine is coming here, it is being transferred here, it is moving this direction, so the urine is moving upward, so it is called the ascending, and then finally it will reach this particular big tube, and it will go through it, and while going through it, it will actually again pass near this Bowman's capsule or the Malpighian corpuscle, and then it will be moving and getting collected into this collecting duct. Okay, and this bigger pipe that is carrying this entire thing will be known as the distal convoluted tubule. Finally, it will merge into the collecting duct, which collects like urine from multiple nephron, because this is the main structure of the nephron, and the collecting duct is going to collect the nephron fluid from many of them, like it's connected here, you can see, and the branches there. Likewise, there are multiple branches are present, so it's going to collect it from every single places. This portion is what is known as the renal tubule. So we have two sections, the Malpighian corpuscle or the renal corpuscle, which is this portion, this entire section, and it is the renal tubule, which is this all the pipes that are there present. So these two sections make up the entire structure of the nephron. Now, as I said, this vessel is coming out, the efferent arteriole that is coming up, it actually will then encircle or cover up the entirety of this pipes, all these places. Okay, it will move through each and every of the section, and then while covering through it, it will come out like this way. It will come through this every single section, let me draw it like as roughly as possible, and then will transform into vein. Okay, will transform into vein, or rather we should say as the renal venules first of all, and then the renal venules is going to merge into the renal vein. The renal venule will merge into the renal vein, and through the renal vein now filtered blood will pass. So actually blood is going to move through it, means once the blood comes out from here, it will actually keep on moving through this every single places. It will go through all of those ducts everywhere, and then finally will come through this and will reach out to this renal venule, and with the renal venule it will move out now. So there we'll see that unpurified blood is actually coming through here, moving, filtered, and then purified blood is going to move out through the renal venule. Let me write it down. Renal veins, and this is renal venule, this one. And one more thing we should write are this blood capillaries that we are seeing here. This is majorly known as the vasa recta, or can be called a peritubulary capillaries. So it is this afferent arteriole which will transform into this peritubulary capillaries and will cover out the entirety of the structure of the nephron. So this is the structure of the nephron. This is how you're going to draw the structure of nephron.